Hey, what's going on, Agents for Life? I'm back. It's been a week since the last time we talked. Welcome to podcast 210. And just a little bit of accountability here. How was your week? Did you do what you were supposed to? Are you happy with your results? And more importantly, most importantly, did you hit your magic number? You're going to hear me talking about more and more about the magic number because that is the crux of all of this production that we track. Our leads, our dials, our sets, our sits, our production, our placement, all these different formulas and things. At the crux of all of that is your magic number. And that's the one that matters. That's how many appointments got on your calendar. How many people did you put on your calendar? Okay, that's the number we focus on. Whatever your magic number is, you need to know what it is and you need to put it up all over your house. Okay. Whatever you got to do to keep it top of mind, because when you wake up Monday morning, that needs to be what you think about. How many people where can I find the people to put X number of appointments on my calendar? So, anyways, just a quick check in. I wanted to see how everyone's doing and how your progress is going. If you're not feeling it, okay, if you're hearing this from me and you're like rolling your eyes going, here it goes again, talking about numbers. But I'm way off. I don't know what's working. It's broken. I'm not happy with my results, whatever. Well, at the bottom of these emails that you get every single week from me, there's this one that says agent strategy session. And that's you and me getting on a call together to talk about your numbers, your production, your mindset, your energy, whatever, to see what's going on. I do a little checkup from the neck up and we just see what roadblocks there are and see if we can help talk through them. So anyways, take advantage of that. Click on that, get on my calendar. We need to be talking. If you're going through a cloud, we need to be talking. We need to clear the mist away and get you back on track because this is a business and we are chasing big goals and big dreams. So here we go. This podcast is dedicated to the two main different business models a new agent comes in and embraces. Number one is face-to-face, and number two is virtual. Okay, very different. Now, I did face-to-face for 3 years when I first started. Drove all over Maricopa and Pinal counties. The state of Arizona is spread out. Okay, we're the fifth largest city in the nation. I can drive 3 hours across town and still be in city. So we have no shortage of population. That's the good news. But the bad news is it's a lot of wear and tear. It's a lot of miles and a lot of traffic. It's not LA, but it's a lot of traffic. So I don't complain. I never look back and think bad of those years, but they're tough years because I was driving everywhere. And I tell you, I'm no stranger to the feeling of driving 2 hours or more to get a no-show. Okay. That happened to me. I can't tell you how many times I did not like those, but they were part of life back then because then there were those appointments where they were showing up and they wrote a really nice policy that just made my day. So driving, there's a few downsides. Let me go through some pros and cons for you of the two business models. It's not that one's better than the other. It's that they're different. There are definitely pros and cons you want to know about, especially as a new agent. Okay, so if you're a seasoned agent, you've probably settled into one of these tracks, but this is just maybe a recap for you. But for all you new agents getting in and looking at this, you probably have seen the shiny object, right? There's a shiny object in our industry, and that's called phone sales. You come down the stairs, go around the corner, down the hall to your office, and there you go. And you don't have to go outside. You don't have to go get in traffic. You don't have to go to a boss. You just work from home. Everything's honky-dory and everything is just beautiful. And everybody shows up in their appointments and everybody does everything that it says in the script that they're going to do. Well, that's a perfect world. There's also rainbows and unicorns over there and dodo birds from what I've heard, but no real life situations over there. So good luck with that. In the real world, it's tough. Okay. And let me tell you about the virtual model versus face-to-face. If you want to go face-to-face, okay, a few things. Now, I'm not going to go in detail on all of these things, but you are going to do some door knocking. Door knocking is a part of the face-to-face routine. Okay. I did printed leads, so I had to get a printer. And everything went on a piece of paper. I took it on a clipboard. I had all my leads with me. When I hit the road, I want to be able to pull them out. And because sometimes you're in a place where there's no Wi-Fi and you can't access Google Docs and spreadsheets. So you need to be able to just pull up pieces of paper and do that. So, so paper applications starting out, sometimes you're doing paper applications. That's a part of the face-to-face business model. Mileage tracker. These are just random. They're not in any particular order, but when you're driving a lot, get an app, download it, turn it on, and track your miles. Because when it comes tax time, you got a huge write-off with that mileage. How to dress, okay? You can't see me now, but if you could, well, I have dark jeans on. I was going to say something else, but I could be wearing shorts. You won't know. When you're virtual, you could be in slippers. I actually don't have shoes on right now. I'm in my socks. So, I can't get away with that face-to-face. When you show up, you got to look sharp, okay? Golf shirt like this. For the ladies, it's a corporate casual. You want to have your lanyard around your neck. Men, dark jeans, nice shoes. I put a bag on, or a little briefcase to carry my stuff in. But when you show up at that door, you take a step back. That presentation, that first impression, that's everything right there. So you got to look professional, okay? Lanyard, very important. In the virtual world, the lanyard's different. But in the physical world, face-to-face, you got to have that sucker around your neck. I use Google Maps. You can also use a tracking device or a software to route your maps or to route your homes on, your visits, to make it more efficient for you. Printed presentation, I used a binder, had everything in plastic sleeves. When I met with somebody, I'd flip through. Why? Internet connection is a beast. Have you noticed? If something can go wrong, it will. That little piece of Murphy's advice applies to Wi-Fi more than anything, or applies to a sales presentation more than anything. So yeah, don't rely on the internet. I like to have printed papers, plan for spotty Wi-Fi, get good at using, I had to use my phone connection, or I asked to get onto their Wi-Fi. It's not impolite. It's very common, but just plan around it. You got to have some paper apps. Also, building rapport is a lot easier, and getting to the kitchen table where business is done. So those are all suggestions, all tips. When you are face-to-face, those are the things, if you do them well, that are going to put you in the best odds for success. Now let's switch over and talk about the shiny object, right? We are in a new world. It's technology is taken off. There's a lot of conveniences, a lot of applications and software and cool things we can use as virtual agents, right? And we don't have to brave the traffic. We just stay at home. It's beautiful, right? Well, there are some downsides. Let me talk through the virtual model. I use, there's CRM systems. You should probably start looking into some kind of CRM if you can afford it. If you're new and your budget is tight, don't go spend money on a CRM. Use spreadsheets because they're free. I did that for the first 3 or 4 years before I even started getting into CRMs. And everything's manual. You're copying and pasting emails, sending to your clients and things like that. That's fine because it's free. You need to focus your business profits on profitability. And when you grow to the point where you have extra money to put toward a CRM and it fits comfortably in your budget, and you can take on that monthly retainer cost, you may not have to wait as long as I did, but focus and don't spread yourself too thin in the early years. You've got to get profitable first. That's the most important. And you can be very profitable without a CRM and a lot of work and hustle. It's hustle that wins, not technology. Technology is an aid. It helps, but it's not all things. Okay, dialing versus texting. When you're in a virtual world, you can dial, you can text. I call it prospecting. Reminding and confirmation. So it's more of a tech environment. So people expect that reminder system. When you're at work and you're in a meeting, it shows up, you get that confirmation, right? I use Calendly for my confirmations, and it sends it automatically, puts it on their calendar. Some people accept it, but they expect to see that. Okay, I take their email and I put their phone number in there. They get a text reminder, an email reminder. If you want to know more about the details on a reminder sequence, let me know. Be happy to walk you through that. But you want that in a virtual world. You don't want it in a face-to-face world. In a face-to-face, I book it and then I stop answering that phone number. Okay, if they call and leave a message, I'm showing up anyways. Why? People get cold feet. People think they know what it is. They want to back out. And so here's how it comes out of their mouth. Yeah, so something came up. We're going to be gone, so we need to change our, just reschedule our appointment. Yeah, just so go ahead, don't bother coming by. But we'll get in touch when we're ready. Click. I can't tell you how many messages I heard just like that. I don't pay attention to them. Here's why. Number one, if they are legit and they truly aren't going to be there, nobody even knows. You knock on the door. That was my risk that I took driving to their house, and I'm willing to take it. And here's why. If they're not there, they don't know the difference. So it doesn't bother me. But I got other appointments to go to, so I'm good. But here's why I go anyways. I can't tell you how many people were actually there. And they figure, well, you're already here. We might as well have the appointment. And we have the appointment, and they realize what it is. I'm not twisting arms. I'm just educating. They get coverage that they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. People just don't prioritize it. So I don't call back. I don't respond when people try and cancel. In a virtual world, I do. It's just the opposite. Because if they tell me they're not picking up and I call, I'm not at their doorstep. There's nobody feeling like they need to, well, you're already out here. You might as well come in. I don't get that on a phone call. I don't have that kind of leverage. So if they're telling me they're not going to make it, I try and reschedule. So virtual, you do need those reminders. You do need that follow-up. Working spreadsheets and data. I put all my leads on spreadsheets. I don't use paper. I do use paper when I am on an appointment, and maybe that's from habit. I don't know. But every appointment, I have an appointment sheet. And I used to do that in my early days when I was doing face-to-face. But now every appointment, I pull out an appointment sheet, and I'm just that's for me to take notes while I'm asking the prospect about what they want, what's important to them, what their pain points are, all the underwriting, all the things. So I use an appointment sheet, and you all know what that is. It's in the training. But other than that, my leads, when they come in data, and I copy and paste them into a spreadsheet, and that's where I live. And if it's a no, then I mark it off and close it out, cross it off. If it's a yes, then I mark it and I track the numbers and the progress and all that stuff. So it's a different system because I'm not living off of paper so much. Right. My file cabinet's a lot skinnier from the virtual world, but I still do use some paper. In a virtual world, you might want to take advantage of a phone burner app or a second line, Google Voice, or another way of calling people, because your phone number might get a little tired. It's not a bad idea to have 2 or 3 numbers. Power dialer. In the course of the virtual world, you're doing electronic applications, not necessarily paper. And then the carrier calculators and things, you need to have everything at your disposal, easily accessible. You need to be very organized. I like to have 2 monitors. I'm going like this because I have monitor over here and a monitor over here and a camera in the middle where I'm talking. And a lot of screen space from my monitors gives me a lot of real estate. So it helps me work. It's very efficient. Monitors, $130 nowadays for a really good monitor. It's nice and big. So it's not a huge investment. But those are some tools: good camera, good mic. You want a nice background. If you're a virtual agent, you don't want to look like you don't want to see a bathroom back there or your closet or a kitchen. We all work from home and they know it, but you don't want to show it. So there's just some tips for new virtual agents. You're coming in to look professional, feel professional. Your lanyard, when you're wearing that around your neck, showing up at the door, right? I don't have that in a virtual world. I'm not wearing it around my neck. What I do is I attach it in an email and I send it to them a few minutes before the meeting. And then I start my call. By the way, I just want to let you know, in your inbox is my license, my business card, my credentials, everything you need to know about me. If everything looks good, I don't ask that. I just say, just so you know, so you've got that. They're like, okay, yeah, I appreciate that. So everybody's always grateful that I share that I'm upfront with it before I start my appointments. Again, virtual, so very, very different. When you go virtual, there's 2 levels. One is video, so you get them on Zoom or Whereby or Google Meet or whatever app of your choice that you like. I like Zoom and Whereby the best. That's a better option than phone sales. In other words, it's easier to make sales in that environment because at least people can see your face, right? On phone sales, all they got's your voice. That's it. And they're making judgments off of just that. So when you're starting out, don't jump right into phone sales. It's super convenient, super nice, It's fun, but you're not going to have as much success as if you go face-to-face at first, which is always my recommendation. And then if you gravitate, go to or graduate up to the phone sales or to the virtual world, do video first, and then go to phone sales when you get good. So anyways, there's a few tracks there. Different costs and things. You want to weigh out what's best for you. Obviously, face-to-face is a little bit more expensive. You got to put a lot of gas in your car. You got to print a lot of paper. You got to drive around people's houses. It takes up a lot more time. Virtual does have some conveniences, but you do have a little bit higher no-show rate from my experience. And you do have to work a little bit harder to build that trust in order for the client to feel comfortable letting you be their life insurance agent. So anyways, I hope that's a little bit to chew on. If you're brand new, I want you to think through this. If you need some help with a decision, please, please, please reach out. I'd love to help. A lot of people jumping right into virtual nowadays, doing well. I don't want to discourage you from virtual, but if you're new, I will encourage you to go out, hit the road, and do some face-to-face, because it's going to be good for you. And it'll be good for your success rate too. So there's some tips on virtual versus face-to-face. I hope that's been helpful. If you're new, don't bother so much about which one. Bottom line, just go out and hit it, right? Activity is king. In either world, activity is king. So go out there and make it happen. Give it all you got. We got a few more weeks before the end of the year. Let's finish strong. Don't let off the gas. We want to come into January with the momentum already in place. We don't want to have to start momentum in January 1st. So keep going right through the holidays as much as you can. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Take care.